Yeah, it makes me wanna cry.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to Armchair Expert. I'm Dan Shepard. I'm joined by Maximus Mouse.
It's our last real Monday episode of 2020.
And you know what song would be appropriate right now?
What?
Well, one of his would be most appropriate, but it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
That's right.
Everywhere. Even as we sit in your living room right now in the shadow of a beautiful, noble fir.
I love it. It's my first real Christmas tree.
Elegantly decorated. Very elegant. It looks like it could be in the window at Neiman Marcus.
Wow, thank you. It's kind of an OCD person's nightmare putting ornaments on a tree. Like all I see, like I need to move that toilet paper roll one.
Sure.
So that it's more spaced out. You know, it's tough.
You know what? I'm going to take a picture of this for the cherries in case they get curious what you find disagreeable. Is that all right?
Sure.
And now I'm going to zoom in on the toilet paper, okay?
Okay.
Because people might have a hard time finding that toilet paper.
That's my 2020 ornament.
Oh, that's a really smart one.
Thanks.
It was the year of toilet paper shortages.
It sure was.
I'll tell you who has no shortage of toilet paper or talent. Wasn't that a good segue?
Great. Ding, ding, ding.
Shawn Mendes. And it was so fun to have Shawn Mendes on because he's actually been an armchair from the jump.
So flattering.
It really is. And he is a Grammy-nominated multi-platinum singer and songwriter. You love Senorita. You love Treat You Better. You love There's Nothing Holding Me Back. And Wonder now. His fourth studio album, Wonder, is out right now. And a great documentary with the title In Wonder on Netflix. So check that out as well. And please enjoy Shawn Mendes. We are supported by Bob's Red Mill, my breakfast at least 5 days a week.
That's a yummy one.
It's so easy. It's so convenient. I've turned my daughters onto it. They love it. I add a little hot water, and then I put a little scoop of almond butter in there. I spin it around. I put the cap back on, and then about a minute and a half later, I am in hog heaven. And completely gluten-free. So I feel like $1 million after I eat it. It's my favorite thing in the world. In fact, I'm going to Texas on Thursday.
Yeah.
I'm packing Bob's Red Mill in my suitcase. That's how much I need it in my life. And what's really great is the baking season is upon us, and they have oatmeal oats, and you can bake with them.
Wobby Wob made us the most amazing holiday cookies. He makes them for us every year. They're incredible. They have
Cranberry,
oatmeal,
white chocolate.
Oh, it's amazing. But he used Bob's Red Mill.
Of course he did. He didn't want to give me a flare-up. Bob's Red Mill is super easy and delicious. You can use it in all kinds of baking. I urge everyone who wants to still pig out on yummy, yummy holiday treats to get into some Bob's Red Mill. Learn more about lots of awesome and delicious products and recipes at bobsredmill.com/Dax. And while you're there, be sure to enter for a chance to win an exclusive Bob's Red Mill prize pack and an Armchair Expert t-shirt. That's bobsredmill.com/Dax. We are supported by Saved by the Bell. What pleasure I have in reporting this on Peacock, the wonderful streaming service. They have brought Saved by the Bell back. The highly anticipated reimagined Saved by the Bell premiered on Wednesday, November 25th on Peacock and only on Peacock. It's a new series. Monica and I are so revved up for this. I was such an enormous fan of Zach Morris.
Oh, I loved Saved by the Bell so much.
Well, in the new series, Zach Morris is now the governor, and he gets into hot water for closing too many underfunded high schools. So he proposes they send the affected students to the most well-funded school in the state, including Bayside High. Now, the influx of new students gives the privileged Bayside kids, who never have a problem that can't be solved in 22 minutes, a much-needed dose of reality. Elizabeth Berkley, Lauren, and Mario Lopez star in the new Saved by the Bell series, reprising their role as Jesse and AC Slater. John Michael Higgins also stars as Principal Todman, alongside a great cast of young actors. Now, Saved by the Bell is available right now on Peacock, the streaming service from NBC Universal. Sign up at peacocktv.com to stream now.
He's an armchair expert. He's an armchair expert. He's an armchair expert.
Can you hear me?
Oh my God, can I hear you? What a silky voice right out of the gate.
Oh, man, you delivered already.
Interview's over. Good job, Shawn.
Thank you very much. Hold on. I'm setting up the recording. We're going to lose you for 1 second.
Okay. I've already begun recording, so
I know that.
don't double hit.
I won't.
Okay.
I can see
Okay.
with my eyes.
Wow, I'm shocked by that, to be honest with you. I was about to say you have good eyes, but you don't. You have terrible
I
eyes.
do, but I can see a bright red light that's
Which is not to say
very
that
close to me.
they're not aesthetically pleasing. They just are not functional.
Well, maybe you can only have one or the other.
What are you saying? That I can't see?
Uh-huh.
If you had to pick whether your eyes were
Aesthetic.
pretty or...
Hey guys, I've always wanted to just be like so laid back like this. I've seen everyone look like they're relaxing so much during this podcast. I was so excited to like cross my legs in an interview. Isn't that
Yeah,
weird?
you've got a real vibe going on this morning. You look like you're in a grotto, and you look like you are also at Woodstock. You look very cash.
Super cat. I mean, this is a big deal for me. I did Jimmy Fallon a couple weeks ago, and I'm more nervous for this because I realized that this is like, I really consume this content. I heard Hugh Jackman say that in a podcast once, and I was like, oh, I wonder if that's going to happen to me. And it is.
Well,
That's so flattering. My God.
And I'm not unaware of this. So I've known that you like the podcast. Your first one in, I think.
Early adopter?
Early adopter of the new technology. And somehow we got connected on Instagram, and I found it incredibly flattering that you liked it. And then I got really curious why you like it. I'm not mining for compliments, but you're a young man on the go. The world is your oyster. What on earth do you want to talk about? Failures and humility and fucking mental health. What? I'm really curious what appealed to you.
I mean, to be honest with you, like that's more on my mind than music and pop culture these days. I feel like I'm doing more for my mental health to stay above water than anything else in my life.
You know, I'm so much older than you, and I was really saddened when I watched the documentary last night to realize, I mean, really much older, but we see all this data about younger people having increased levels of anxiety, and it would probably be hard to know if it's part of your generation or just your unique experience.
I think it's the generation and more so my unique experience. I'm also chasing anyone in an industry similar to mine. So when I started seeing you interviewing actors and talking about that type of pressure, I think the one that really got was Michael Pena. It was just his psyche before doing a movie.
Yeah.
The entertainment industry is just kind of crazy.
Not knowing you and just watching the doc, I'd say that you guys are really similar in your approach. He and I are opposite, right? So I like being thrown in a very chaotic situation and trying to find my way out. And he is the ultimate rehearser, the ultimate preparer, and he wisely tries to control all the variables that are within his realm to downsize the anxiety about the performance. It seemed that that's your approach as well.
Yeah, but also that's a very controlling approach, and also sometimes leaves you with more anxiety than just trusting yourself. Like after listening to a bunch of your podcasts, I feel like you have this confidence, also this vulnerability, but this confidence that is kind of just there innately in what you do as an actor, no?
You know, it depends. Some situations, yes, and then other ones, it scares me. But again, you know, I've been at it for a while, and I got really excited to talk to you genuinely. I never give advice to anyone, but you're so empathetic in the documentary. You're just so fucking likable. And I see the many things you're wrestling with. And then so much of it is just, you know, you're 22 years old. If you weren't wrestling with this stuff, something probably would be broken. But there's just a couple things I was watching where I was like, oh, I really am glad to have his ear, because there are a couple things, and you're already on the path. Like the doc starts with you walking down on stage. And by the way, we just interviewed a Formula One driver. This is the same for anyone in a high pressure situation, right? So the moment before the storm, there's so much going on. And you say like walking out in front of that many fans, you start with like ego to bolster yourself, right? Like you try to let those people inform you that, yeah, I'm the fucking man. I can do this, or these people wouldn't be here. And then what I love about you is you immediately admit the first note's always bad. Like that approach yields you not hitting the note. And then like 30 seconds later, you calm down, you remember you're just a dude who loves singing and performing, and then the thing takes off. And I found it so relatable, and I think so many people would relate to that.
You know, you interviewed my performance coach, actually, Michael Gervais.
Oh.
I messaged you about that. I've been working with him for like a year and a half, and we, I mean, have been on this insane journey together. But the big thing for me was the signal to noise ratio. basically talking about your why, your reason of doing something, and how that really controls how you're feeling at the moment. And during that doc was my first time playing with my perspective on what I was doing and why I was doing it. And before, it was kind of just like bulldozing through, like they cheer, oh, that means you do good, like keep going, like. And then at some point during that tour, I started to try and practice this thing of like, look, I'm under the stage, I'm about to walk on stage in front of 20,000 people, and I say to myself, you do this because you love it. You do this because you love to perform, not because you need praise. Like if you walk on the stage and they're silent, you're still going to have a great night. It didn't make me believe it at all.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I didn't believe that at all. But I started doing it every single night, and it really helped my attitude of being a little bit more carefree about how it went. I was connected to my why a little bit more. But I watched back the doc, and I'm so different from then. And that was a year and a half now. At that point, I hadn't had more than 3 weeks off for 7 years. Since I was 15 years old, completely, absolutely nonstop. And then COVID happens, and I'm put into my girlfriend's parents' house in Miami, and we're there for 3 months together, just like doing laundry and cooking food again. Feels like the first time in my entire life. And the last 7 years hit me, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, I haven't spent any time with my sister. She's 17 now. She has who's this guy she's dating? I don't, all that, like, I'm like, I'm a horrible son. My mom doesn't even know like how I feel about certain things. And it was like this whole like thing, a couple of weeks of like extreme anxiety, and then starting to flow into more of a state of like, okay, I get it. Community and family time and the people around you, the people that care about you is the most important thing in the entire world. I hear the message loud and clear. Now it's about trying to figure out how to get that balance, you know?
Yeah, I mean, in essence, you're really talking about identity, right? And so for 7 years, the number one thought when you think of who I am is I'm a performer who goes out and performs. And then when that goes away, you're really forced to go like, oh my goodness, well, what else am I? Because I haven't been watering many other plants out of necessity. And I have to imagine it's terrifying.
Yeah, and success is a funny thing to happen to anyone at any age, but I think, I don't know, I could be completely wrong, but I think maybe if I started now at 22, knowing myself a little bit better,
Yeah.
I would be able to be like, hey, before a guy who has a few hit songs, you are a son and a brother and a friend, a good friend.
Yeah.
Just remember that.
Oh, for sure. Between 14 and 22 is when you like, I don't know, for me, I was going to be Jack Kerouac, and I tried that for 6 months, and I was like, oh, this is fun, but it's lonely. I don't think I want to be Jack Kerouac. Then I was like, oh, I'm really undereducated. I should go to college.
Yeah.
You know, I'm at college. Oh, I'm a Harley guy. I own a Harley. I'm going to join the Hells Angels. I mean, I had 23 pursuits before I ever had any success. And so by the time I had a little money, I think I had kind of honed in on what was maybe a more sustainable identity for myself. Although I don't think it ends. Yeah, you were robbed of that really fertile experimenting time.
Yeah, I still haven't done it. All I know is this is a very unique thing where I've been to like 3 high school parties in my life. I have so many thoughts about going to school and like, do I need to go learn how to play music? It's nonstop.
Well, you've certainly sold a ton of albums. I think you've sold 10 million albums or more, which is very rare these days. But even at that, your income is touring, right? That's your livelihood.
Totally. And brand campaigns and stuff like that.
Yeah. So there's got to be fear at the beginning of it. Also, maybe then some guilt that, oh my God, I'm really grateful for this. That's certainly what I've had, which is like, oh my God, I've been with my kids in this crazy amount of time for the last year that would have never happened without this. So I have all this gratitude, and then I have guilt about having gratitude.
Isn't it weird, like, how real relativity is? Our own experience is all we can ever know. At some point, hopefully, I want to go, if it's safe, travel somewhere and be there for a couple months to experience a different reality and understand and have some perspective of my life. Because when you have so much, you start to really just pick on things that other people would see as like, they're just not problems, you know? And inside of this pandemic, I knew a lot of really close people from home who were closing down businesses and their restaurants and stuff like that. And I was here like being like, oh, I'm so grateful for this time to just like stop. And it was just the opposite reality for so many people. And I realized how different my reality was, you know?